Hey, welcome to the shop. It is a spectacular day here at the Jersey Shore. Went on a little morning bike ride this morning and figured I'd come in and spend the rest of the day trying to get some work done. I have my forge welding project set to go. I tack welded the shotgun barrel that I showed in the last video. And I put my piece of 1095 steel in here. I left a little out to use as a stub where I welded a rebar handle because this thing is going to be getting hot, and my intent is to make my first couple of hits in this direction, thusly kind of closing this sandwich, if you will. Like I said, my biggest fear is getting this thing hot enough where to get this hot, this thinner piece melts. That's a very real possibility. But we'll have to see. You don't know this shit until you try it, right? So I'm all set. Got my 20 mule team borax, and that'll be the flux. And I have this opened up in a sandwich type of configuration. I could spoon that in there, spoon it on, and when it hits the red hot metal, it becomes liquid, and it'll get in there. There's plenty of gap spaces, so it'll be the forge hammer that puts all of this stuff together. So I'm going to get the old forge fired up, and we're just going to go to it and see what takes place. So we'll catch you later, and I'll let you know how we make out, whether it's a success or a failure. You'll be the first to know, and that's how we learn here. So see you in a few. All right, we're back. Let me tell you something. Seldom, something that I've never done before, that I kind of think out and do some research on and plan it and say, maybe if I do this, that, or the other thing. Seldom does it work out the very first time. This time it did. This is my billet from my forge weld. It is the 1095 wrapped in the skin of the 4130 shotgun barrels. It's about, I'll tell you what, it's pretty uniform. I'm getting better at this blacksmithing shit. I mean, this thing is hitting like about 150 all the way down. So it's just about 1/8 of an inch, a little over 1/8 of an inch. And that's about as thin as I want to go. And as I suspected, it's not going to be very wide. I'm not going to make any kind of chef's knife or anything out of this. I mean, got my widest points here. Just about 1 inch 200, 1 inch 200, so about 1 1/4 inches. So it's what I figured. It did stretch out a little longer too, as I was trying to get some width here with the cross-peen hammer. I'd say it grew. I'd probably put 3 inches on it. So that being the case, what I could do with this is cut it in half and make 2 full tang paring knives out of it. So I have my knife project, and I have my Hikari, I think it's what they call the samurai type design. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, the shotgun barrels folded over the steel. The 1095 steel was quite malleable under the hammer. Once it got red, um, it was like hard Play-Doh. I mean, you hit it and it squashed down. What did have to do, I noticed right away, was because of the um, dissimilar thicknesses of the metals. I had to take that whole rig apart where I welded the rebar on it and tack welded it. I ground that out, and I heated up the 1095 rod first. Got it nice and hot. Then I put it off to the side of the forge, and then I put the gun barrel in, and that got hot much quicker. And then I put it together. I laid some flux in there, and I actually held it with a pair of vice grips, and it worked. I saw the shotgun barrel just fold over the rod, and everything just flatten out. And there was a little bit of a fringe on one side from where that clamshell was, where this kind of went like that over it, and there was some little fringe metal there, and I just real fast dusted it off on the grinder. So I have my steel sandwich here. I don't know what kind of pattern I'm going to have in it. I certainly can't see anything, but I still have my hammer marks in here. The grinding is going to tell, and the etching is going to tell. I don't suspect much of a pattern at all. This was just an experiment in doing that type of metal wrapping, if you will. So I don't know, we'll see. So we'll have a blade video once I get a belt grinder in that space over there. It's saying, where's my knife grinder? I'm torn between KGM, Oregon bladesmiths, and I have the equipment here to make my own. I just don't have the time. I'll order a good 6x72 belt grinder. We'll start pounding these out. So this is going to be my first knife project, my first forged knife project anyway. And I think that's going to be pretty cool. Two little paring knives. And I'm going to use the shotgun stock for the handle scales of these knives. So it's going to be an interesting thing. And I'll keep you guys posted as I move along with this project. But today was such a nice day. I wanted to be outside. So I got the old forge going. One thing I did with the forge is I welded together a plate on the bottom that I could use as a damper. So when I'm running it at full speed, I could regulate the airflow, and it just makes it chooch better for certain things. Like if you want to heat up the middle of something and you just want to put like some bursts of air. I got an old chisel I welded for a handle, and I could just move that in and out with the coal poker. And it's kind of primitive, but hey, it works. And it was really good. This 1095 forge is excellent. If you guys are doing any knives or anything like that, and you want to get started in forging your own blades, I'd say go with this 1095 or 1085 or one of those types of steel. They just mold really good. It's almost like you want to grab it with your hands and do something with it. But yeah, we can't do that. But anyway, so that's the forge welding project, and it was a success. I had to rethink how I was doing it, and actually that was the way I thought about doing it the first time. I said, that's too much work. Why don't you just like slit it open? But that wasn't good because we have a cold bar. It's a 1/2 inch diameter, and by the time that gets to forge welding temperature, that gun barrel is going to be disintegrated because it's thin. So heat them up, get them both the same temperature, put them together, and then do your forge welding, and that worked much better. So common sense prevails. So these are going to be nice little paring knives. And that's it for today. I got other shit I gotta do. I've got shit to do, but we'll see you next time. Thanks.